Alright guys, so welcome back to Cockpit Chatter. So good morning, and good evening to the viewers sa States. So we are currently at the Bakersfield, no? And would be flying to what do you call this? Flagstaff to States. So yun. Currently we are on the runway already. Nagkakaproblema yung Facebook eh. So I don't know why. What's wrong? So I'll just do a quick pack of this one and then let's go for the weather. So mabilis na naman yun. It's a quick download. Then we'll start flying already. Okay? Yan. Weird. Hi. Alright. Aldrian Sandoval, good morning sir. Magandang umaga. Carlo Santino you. Hello sir. So yun, ready na tayo sa runway. 30 left. Tayo ka lang mag-pack yung weather para dire-diretso na tayo. So yun. So from Bakersfield to Flagstaff, we'll fly overhead Las Vegas. On the right side will be Victorville en route to Las Vegas. Overhead Las Vegas tayo. Down to Boulder. Then go back to papuntang Havasu. So nasa right side yung Havasu later. Overhead Sedona. Then we'll shoot a circling approach siguro. Depende sa hangin. We'll see. But if not, ILS 2. So good afternoon to the 5 viewers right now. And please don't forget to like and share the stream. Si CP ready na. Si Chris. Yan. So after 10,000, we'll start calling him. Okay? So let's go. When you guys are ready. So gamit ulit natin yung livery ni Carlo Santino you. Thank you so much. Cholo Pocholo, my first time here. Hello sir, Cholo Pocholo, welcome to the channel. Good afternoon. Ay, good morning pala, sorry. Alright, so no more ecam. Okay, let's go. Stabilize the engine. APUs are off. Cabin ready. Okay, stable. Let's go. Hey man. Manflex, SRX, Autopass 2. So guys, pinili lang natin to kasi may autopilot na mga pagkakatiwasaan natin kahit pa paano. B1 Pro, daan natin. Sa Chevron dahil ito. Hey, positive rate, gear up. Pitch bar. And let's accelerate kagad. Turn. Okay, we took off with packs on. Yun naman talaga yung plano natin.
Speed.
Speed kasi yan. Sorry. Pinapa-lever climb nyo na ako pero okay lang. So leave it there. Let's accelerate to a speed so we get to clean up quick. Disregard the lever climb. I need the speed. Yeah. Nose down nga. Para we accelerate faster. Okay, let's accelerate faster. Kaya mo na siya mag-nose down. And clean up. That's one, autopilot one. Lever climb. Alright, 10,000. We'll give TP a call. So yan. So we are airborne. Cleaned up na tayo. Oh, thank you, Captain, for your warm welcome. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Hope you stay tuned. We have a special guest tonight, si Captain Chris. So we'll be talking about what do you call this? We'll be talking about Gen Av in the States. No, he is a Filipino and he's currently working in the States. So baka may mapulot kayong aral. Yeah. Actually, I've flown with him already. If you find the Night Flying sa YouTube channel, you'll be able to see na we flew already before. Actually, we flew a lot of hours so nasa States kami way back to 2018. I was supposed to post the daytime flying namin, but pwede siyang isang episode eh. So I'll just edit it, tapos we'll just make it a separate episode. It's alright. Bagal yung mag-climb. And taxi lights. Off na tayo ng taxi lights. Okay. Yeah. So may weather, may konting weather en route. Base of for flight. Ba't may arrow? I altitude. Yeah, I know. Sorry naman. So climb to 23,000 at level 230. Then let's solve the error. Victor 23, what time? Ninti. Pwede natin ito bibili. Ayan. So from Ninti, dire-diretso tayo. Pasok na tayo ng GMM. Alright, so the airplane is turning automatic and we are passing, I guess 10,000 again. Yeah, 10,000. Check. So 1,000 we'll switch to the baro. Switch to baro. And terrain is off. I don't need the terrain there anymore. Okay lang yun. Okay, 1,000. Running lights. Baro there. Standard. Set. Okay. Okay, let's give Captain Chris a call. And we'll just switch to outside view. And I'll turn this on para I get to see what the airplane is doing. Okay, kasi lilipat ako dito sa screen na to. So let's try and give him a call. Interview 2. Okay, and then zoom. I need the zoom ID. Okay. Zoom ID would be hold on guys, sorry. Zoom ID is let's check. Paano ba ito nga ulit? Meetings. Start, no? Join with computer audio. Yan. Admit. Yan, pasok natin si oh, hello, Chris. Can
Hey,
you
how's it
hear?
going?
Good, man. Pogi, Can you hear me?
Yep, loud and clear.
Oh, wow. Perfect, perfect. Kamusta? Kamusta?
Good. Everything's good.
Alright. Ayun. I couldn't turn on my video kasi I'm using
Climbing
the
through
laptop.
transition altitude.
Diba? So, okay na.
Uy, for flight yun ah.
Oo nga eh. So, nakakonect sa X-Plane.
Ayos. Oh, okay.
Yeah. So, yun. So, kamusta liparan mo dyan ngayon?
Good, pretty good. Actually, it's picking up. It's getting busy again,
Aha.
thankfully. Yeah. I think it's about time to move to the next step.
Wow! Yun, that's really good to hear, man.
Yeah,
Si
thanks.
Nico Spirit is watching. Sup,
What's up,
CP
Nico?
daw. Ayan. That's really good to hear, no? So where are you now currently? Are you still in the West Coast?
So, yeah, still in the Bay Area. Just about to wrap up things flight instructing wise. To move on to the regionals.
Oh,
But
wow.
yeah. So just keep
Wow.
that on the low.
Congratulations.
But thank you.
Yeah, bilis That's pretty quick, man.
Well, in the tagal eh. It's supposed to happen last year, pero you know all these things that happened just stopped it, and well, it recovered quicker than I thought. So which is good. Um, so pretty much right now, every regional that I know of is starting to hire again, which is
Oh,
really good.
wow. Sabi ni David Abisamis. What do you call this? Sputnik. Good
Sputnik,
morning, sir.
yeah.
Oh, oy, hindi daw kayo natuloy lumipad.
Yeah, di kami natuloy lumipad. Sayang, Bator sana yun.
Ah, wow.
Di
Ituloy
bale,
yung
next
ginawa
time.
natin. Actually, yung
Yeah.
Bator natin ng morning, I was supposed to play it here. Pero nung gini-edit ko
Okay.
last night, sabi ko, this would qualify as a separate episode. Sabi ko, I'll just make it a vlog na lang. I mean, instead of just
Yeah.
playing it on the live stream, diba? So, they have to
Yeah.
watch it out
Yeah.
later. It's very exciting. Ayun.
Yeah. Those
Ano daw?
were good times. Good
Yeah, that was
times
good
na
times, right? Very
you and
easy
JP
to,
came over.
oo nga, namimiss ko, tsaka ang payat ko nun. Yun. So, so for the viewers, no, we'd like to ask, how did you start in aviation?
Yeah. So whoever the viewers are, I just want to say hi. My name is Chris Vallejo. So I'm a flight instructor based out of the Northern California, San Francisco Bay Area. So ever since like kid wants to be a pilot, ever since I was a little boy, I've always been of airplanes,
Uh-huh.
and my goal was to take an aviation degree back nung nasa Philippines pa ako. I did that. I went to Cebu, and I think I did about 2 years, and I had plans of taking up flying lessons. What was the flight school? I think it was my plan was with Airworks Aviation. I think they still exist.
Yes. Wow.
And then luckily, my parents has been here in the United States in the last, I think, 18 to 20 years, and nakapetition na my mom and my dad petitioned me to come over. So like I got the chance to come over to the United States and do my flight training here, which is even better. So yeah, as soon as I got here, it's just full throttle, just kept on moving forward, worked hard for it, and did everything I could, and I think I did it, but I could have done it more quicker. I
Yeah.
think.
Wow. So sana all nakaka-petition, no? So you
Yeah,
can just,
yeah. I mean, I just really got lucky. But yeah, I was really excited to start there. I really had those plans set up, and I was around the flight school already. Palagi ko nandun, and I was just going there to bug them, inquire about flight training, and get the prices, and take a look at the airplanes and all those stuff. So nasa ano na talaga. It was like I really wanted to do it.
yeah. Wow. Galing, man. Um, Namimiss ko actually pumunta sa States. But yeah.
Yeah, balik kayo soon.
Yeah, soon. Definitely
We'll
soon.
make kasi nung pumunta ka dito, I think I was that just instrument rated or commercial?
Yeah, commercial and instrument rated, if I'm
Yeah.
not mistaken.
So
Yeah.
hopefully next time pagbalik nyo, we could actually check you out. You could actually apply for use your private privileges here, and we could do a
That's a
flight
plan,
review for
man.
you. And
We can fly
yeah,
around.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
So,
and you
so
guys can
did
use your
you
privileges here.
did you go straight to the US for training, or did you look for? Di ba you were in a petition? So, did
Uh-huh.
you look for flying schools here before in the Philippines, or
Yeah.
dumiretso ka na sa States?
Yeah. I had flight schools in mind back when I was in the Philippines. I worked. There was another one. I just forgot the name in Cebu. I think it was Chain Air, I believe.
Chain Air. Oh yeah. Chain
Yeah,
Air.
aviation. Yeah, still there. They have an adventure flight school and something education in Cebu. And
Wow.
since I'm from Bacolod, I also kind of went to what's this Air Navigation Academy.
Oh, that's in Bacolod, di ba?
Yeah, because
Yeah.
they're Batila Airport. I also went there and inquired about price and whatnot. Yeah.
Oh, wow. So, hindi mo na tinuloy dito sa Philippines yung flying mo?
Nah, kasi I was already here, and I didn't see a point in going back with there rather than just like here I could do it and work at my own pace and
Wow.
yeah.
Is there a difference like for like ikaw petition ka, diba? Like ako hindi naman. And I want to study in the States. Is there a difference of procedure for that?
Yeah, the difference. I think yung hassle lang, it's not really a hassle, it's just a process of getting your visa and getting your so I think it's called I-20, TA clearance and all those stuff. So yung naman, and then the training, it's pretty much how I did it too. When I was training here, I was training with international students too, which is, from other countries. So I think extra process that you have to do is just the application visa. And then after that, you have to do the TSA clearance,
Correct, yes.
which I had to do because I was not a U.S. citizen yet. So pretty much, yeah, you just process your visa. The flight school will help you to do that, and yung TSA clearance naman is just like fingerprints, and then they're gonna background you, and they're gonna say it's just tell you that final approval, and you can start your flight training.
Oh, wow. Yeah, so
Yeah,
halos the same
but
lang din
training,
pala. Halos the same lang din pala
Yeah.
for a petition and dun sa ano. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
so
sige, continue. You're about to say something.
so training wise naman, it's most schools would like you to be in 141. So I'm sure we'll research that 141 versus 61. So Part 61 more of self-paced. 141 is more like structured. You have a syllabus to follow. My flight school where I worked at, where I got my ratings and where I currently work at, they're pretty good in like parang minerge nila yung 141 and 61. So you're still structured, but it's more like laid back 60 style. So which I really like, kasi you can focus more on student. Kung he's good on a certain field, you can just do once and like, okay, let's move on to the next. No more wasting time. No more. You don't waste time. You just move on to the next, and if you finish it early, good. And if you struggle on some parts of it, at least you could get back into it and practice and until you get proficient on it.
Wow. So, nakakatuwa talaga sa States. Ang dali ng process, no?
Yeah.
Yeah, and structured sila.
Yeah.
So, did you canvas there when you got there And how was it the price compared sa Philippines? Obviously, sa
Yeah,
case mo cheaper, siguro yung cost of living mo kasi you're living with the parents, di ba?
yeah. Living with the parents,
Yeah.
thankful for that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I looked for flight schools around here. Syempre yung napili ko is the cheapest one, but actually, that's not the one I stayed with. I moved to a different flight school, which is a little bit more expensive, but in the long run, I think it's more cheaper. So, madaming, we call it mom and pop flight schools
Mm-hmm.
here, and I think that's the best way to do it. It's the first one, as they have visa, they can issue visa to, other international students. You also had the big flight schools like ATP. I'm sure there's a lot of flight schools like that in Florida.
Mm-hmm.
I think Nico went there too, and
Yeah.
they're more like ano sila, medyo, they're flight schools. They're more like medyo formal talaga. But training wise, it's almost the same.
The same. Yeah.
So chose to go mom and pop flight school,
Uh-huh.
which on the road later, I'll tell you the story and on how I saved up and how I got my training
Oy, that would be good.
in a
Let's do
cheap.
that. Diba?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So later on, I'll tell you how to do that. But yeah, so I chose that. It's pay as you go. You don't have to do deposits or anything like that. It's like, okay, tomorrow I fly an hour, you pay an hour.
Uh-huh.
You pay the airplane for an hour. You pay your instructor how much he charges, and
Uh-huh.
kung wala kang pera next week, then you could just pass and do it whenever you have money.
Yeah. Diba?
Yeah.
Like
So
like what we
that's
did, diba? When we flew together with JP, every time we land, we just give you the money.
yeah. That's I think that's what I liked best in that flight school. Kasi nung previous flight school, it was like, hey, you have to give $2,500 or
Uh-huh.
$5,000 for you to keep on doing training, and I'm like, nah, that's a big amount.
Yeah.
That's too much.
Well,
know,
especially
so-
for us, no, tourist lang kami, and we just wanna
Exactly.
fly around. Diba? We're not there to learn
Yeah.
technically. We just, have
Yeah.
a good time. Diba? Parang
Yeah,
too
exactly.
much on 2,500 up front.
Yeah, up front, it's big. So I'm like, it doesn't make any sense for me to be here to do that.
Yeah. So, can you help us no? You tell us your story how you saved up nakatipid ka for your training cost. So, ano mga naging diskarte mo for that?
Okay, so yeah, nung I assumed when I got here in the United States, it was just didn't know what to do. I was like, man, like, how am I gonna pay for this? Obviously I can work hard for it, and at some point I will get to where I want to be at. So basically, how I did it, I just worked hard. I kahit anong trabaho just to get to flying, just to keep me going and flying. So at that first flight school, I got my private from there. Sabi ko, even though if they ask from money from me up front, so sabi ko, I'll just finish this here. I'll just my private here. I don't want to move in my training. Kasi once mag-move ka from flight to flight school, it's just the next flight school just, well, we have to start you from the beginning because we don't know what you know and we don't know what you're capable of.
Yeah. They'll
So,
start
I
reevaluating
decided-
you again, diba? When
Exactly,
you move.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I decided to stay with that flight school. I finished my private at as quick as I could.
Mhm.
So nagawa ko siya ng six months.
Wow, 6
Um,
months in private. That's quick, I think.
Yeah, 6 months. Yeah, it's quick. Could have done it quicker, but they were trying to. I don't know if they want to rip off or maybe I needed the extra training, but they said I need more training. Okay, I did it anyways.
Uh-huh.
So I did 6 months there. It took me around a little over 40 hours, which is the minimum.
Wow.
Yeah, and there's a down to that. I'll tell you later as well. Kung bakit I recommend you going above 40, which is the minimum.
Mhm.
So anyway, there I got my private, and I was telling myself I need to move on. I need to look for something that's more that did make sense to me based on my the money that I have. Because I was just working at the same time doing flight training. So on this flight school down the road, they're more laid back.
Mhm.
Instructors in the couch, students hanging out on the couch. You witnessed events, you know what I'm talking about.
Yep, yep.
They were more chill. They were more let's say, you know, this just everyone's just friendly there. Everyone wants to help everyone. So I went there and it was around. So I started in instrument training there,
Mhm.
with their instructor, of course. So what happened was I was working on my instrument. You know, the flight school owner actually was in need of like coverage in the front desk. You know, they're like, hey, you know, you watch the front desk. You're gonna be like a dispatch, but you know, obviously you're not gonna be like under payroll or something like that. But as exchange to how what you were doing for coverage from front desk, he gave you flight hours,
Wow.
which is a really big help.
Yeah. Diba?
So I did that all the way from instrument training all the way to CI and CFAA.
Yeah.
So that's how I set up a ton of money. And what I had to do was just to had a part-time job to get a little bit of money on the side from my flight instructor.
Wow. Wow. Eh,
So
So,
yeah,
so basically, parang ka nag-work sa school and then they give you free
yeah,
hours. Parang ganun, diba?
yep. You know, they may exchange lang may parang value every work. This is how much money on account you get.
Yeah.
Um, and it was, I think, that really saved up a lot of money for me. I didn't have to get any loan. I didn't have to borrow money from anyone. So it was just, I think I considered myself to be lucky at that point
Yes, that's actually
because
lucky, diba? Yeah.
yeah,
Swerte mo na
yeah.
yung
So
timing mo na may
yeah,
available position.
yeah, exactly.
Diba? Kahit hindi siya
So
flying
that
position technically, at least you get some free
yeah,
hours.
yeah.
Diba?
That's how it happened. And then you know, so you were around the flight school a lot because dun ka palagi, you know, to watch the front desk.
Mhm.
You actually the gigs right there, like, oh hey, my engine break in. Why don't you fly this? It was
Yeah.
me who would get it first. So I built up a lot of flight time doing those stuff,
Uh-huh.
flying airplanes around for break. I mean, there's big risk there. At first, I was scared because it's of course it's engine break in. Maybe it's a new cylinder or a new engine. But
Mhm.
what I just had to do was just to learn it. Actually, you know, consult instructor. I consulted the owner. Hey, what should I do? And he taught me how to do it. And he's like, I mean, there's running nothing gonna happen to you as long as you do it right. Um,
Definitely. I agree with that.
yeah, but yeah,
Yeah.
I stacked up a lot of flight hours from there, which is another advantage
Yeah.
from me being there.
Actually, yung mga ano eh, di ba? Yung mga biglaang ferry flight na,
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
not a paid flight. You don't get paid,
yeah,
but, you're still qualified to fly it, di ba? I mean, those
exactly.
would help you eh, di ba?
Yeah,
Yung
yeah.
mga ferry
So
flight.
for example, another example is someone gets stuck on another airport. Yung una tawagan ni ako. Kasi
Uh-huh.
like, hey, you know, this guy's stuck there. You're here. Just on a flight school. Go take a plane, pick them up, and come back. I'm like, okay, free flight time.
Di ba?
Yeah,
Free
yeah.
flying time. Yeah.
Yeah, that was
Yeah.
the deal.
That's really good. That's a good tip actually, guys. So if you're listening to that, yun, always stick around, 'di ba, dun sa environment mo. Minsan out of nowhere may flights bigla eh, 'di ba?
Yeah,
Minsan
yeah,
wala nang piloto,
yeah,
wala nang choice.
yeah. Yeah. So I mean, all you need is I was a private. I have my private certificate. I mean, that's your privilege. You know, you
Yeah,
can do that. There's nothing
as
wrong with
long
that.
as you're not being compensated, 'di ba?
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah.
You're still good with it, 'di ba?
Yeah.
So how long did you finish your commercial and instrument ratings at the West Coast?
So I started May of 2017, and
Uh-huh.
I got my commercial October 2018. So it took me a while actually.
Wow, newly
Um,
minted commercial ka pa lang pala nun when we flew around.
yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah, and I was trying to sit right feet already. Kasi, I knew that yung next ko na rating was flight instructor.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Actually, ang daming gagandang airplane sila dun sa airport sa Hayward.
Yeah.
May
Yeah.
Diamond pa nga tayo nakita dun if I'm not
Oh yeah,
mistaken, right? Yeah.
DA40. Yeah.
The DA40. Yeah.
So it was I think it was long. I could have done it quicker. Pero
Uh-huh.
nung nag-transition ako from private to instrument, that took a while. And then I took a while doing my instrument rating kasi nag-change instructor and all those stuff. My instructor left for
Uh-huh.
charter carrier, and so basically I just took my time with instrument training. It was fine. I think
Wow.
I learned quite a ton by just relaxing and actually taking in, absorbing all the lessons in.
Wow. Yun. At least,
Yeah.
diba? You were enjoying your time. Bata pa naman to si
Yeah.
CP eh. And there's
Yeah.
nothing wrong to enjoy while you're flying, eh, diba?
Yeah, exactly.
So, yun.
So, and another thing I actually want to mention,
Mhm.
since I know it's probably you're gonna ask me this, but
Sige, go.
actually, nung time na, because when you work on your instrument rating or your
Mhm.
commercial, you actually have to have 50 hours at least, 50 hours of PIC cross country.
Wow,
So
on
if
instrument.
for instrument and commercial, it's a requirement.
Yep. Okay.
So if you have 50 hours of PIC, or if you're working your 50 hours PIC cross country, it's actually expensive if you do it by yourself.
Correct.
So
yes.
there's actually a way. There's a legal way to do it. Is you do safety pilot. You carry at least a private pilot with you, and both of you should be legal to act as PIC. So what's going to happen is the guy in the left seat, he's going to fly under the hood for as long as you already had the lesson in shooting an instrument approach.
Uh-huh. Yep.
You can do that, and then you have a safety pilot on the right seat.
Wow. Okay.
So the both of you can log flight time,
Mhm.
and you guys split the time. You guys split the cost. So that saved me a lot.
Oh,
So
yeah.
that's what I did. That's why I took a while working on my instrument commercials, because I've been doing that a lot
Uh-huh.
with another pilot. We've been going to places, shooting instrument approaches, me flying under the hood, and we exchange seats. Okay, now it's his turn. I'm going to be in the right seat. I'm going to be the safety pilot looking outside for traffic. So we got quite a ton of flight time for half the price.
Siyempre, diba? Dalawa na kayo naghahati. And then plus the
Yeah.
private also learns experience kasi he gets to observe what the other guy is doing on the instruments. diba?
Exactly. Yeah.
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 And I'll just explain this to the viewers. No, this is totally different from the safety pilot concept in the Philippines. No, unfortunately, some schools do require you to have safety pilots on board for cross countries, even for your solos. But that's a different topic. This one is in the States. Since nagpa-practice yung IFR trainee, he has a safety pilot who's looking outside. So basically, they are flying usually in VMC conditions, diba?
Yeah.
And then naka-hood lang yung IFR trainee. So the other guy
Yes.
is just watching outside. The other one is trying to fly the plane on instruments. So that's a totally
that's
different thing. And this one, yung sa States, I think is more better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's what I did. That's why it took a while, because we've been going to places, almost Southern California. We went to LA and all those stuff. So it was an adventure. Other than you working on your instrument, or I was working on my instrument
Yeah.
training, but actually it was fun gaining all those experiences.
So kumbaga, instead of yung 50 hours requirement mo, na lesson mo 25 hours lang kasi you divide it by 2. And the
That's
other
right.
guy took flying hours as well, di ba?
Yeah.
So this was really good,
So,
di ba? That's really tipid
Yeah.
tip yun, di ba?
Tipid, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
di ba, flying itself is expensive already, di ba?
Yeah.
So, anything na you can save up sa cost, why not, di ba?
Yeah.
As long as it's legal.
It's legal, yeah,
Yeah.
pretty much.
diba? So when you got your commercial and instrument, what was your very first gig and how was it?
Um, my very first gig. Well, actually, I don't know if I was looking at the possibility of becoming a flight instructor
Hmm?
because um, I know how valuable that is to be a flight instructor and to teach students, and of course, the money too is good in flight instructing. But I've talked to some companies before that, like aerial photography gig. I applied to different companies. Never really heard back. Never really pursued it. So, I just kept on working my flight instructor certificate. So that was next for me. That was my next valuable experience. Didn't really do anything. Actually, I did some stuff like ferrying airplanes here and there
Mm-hmm.
as a commercial pilot. So you actually can get paid to do that. So I would just ferry planes from point A to point B, and they would pay for Uber or whatsoever, and then you get compensated for it. So, um, yeah, I just did that just to build flight time and to build more cross country time, which you'll need down the road as well.
Plus it's a fun gig, diba? To ferry planes, diba?
Oh
Kami,
yeah,
yeah, kami
yeah,
ni Nico we flew a 172 from here to Mindanao last December.
yeah.
It's fun
See,
gig,
it's really a valuable experience. It's a good adventure.
diba? Especially to places that you've
Nagbakolot kayo,
never.
diba?
Ah, Nagbaya Bacolod pa kami nun eh.
Yeah,
Baya Bacolod and
yeah.
then Butuan and then Mati.
Wow, that's
Eh
awesome.
ikaw eh, nung pumunta ka dito, sandali ka lang eh.
Yeah, yeah. Sayang.
Di ba? We should have
Yeah,
flown here. Yun.
yeah.
Um, so, yun nga. So, like I've said, no, we flew around the Bay Area. Did you have fun flying aerial tours around the Bay?
Yeah, I'm up to until right now. It's still sometimes here and there. If like you do it like 3 times a day, syempre, it's like okay, third time. But don't you actually? Here's the thing: is like as a flight instructor, you get to do that. It's not really called a bay tour
Yeah,
because as a flight instructor, you can't do tours. You can only do flight lessons.
correct.
So I do flight lessons with them, but I take them as there as well. Just you're hitting two birds with one stone, pretty much. You're giving them a lesson at the same time, parang sightseeing na din.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it's always fun. It's always really good experience. Of course, if I do that third or fourth time a day during that, for me it's old. But actually, what keeps it nice, and what keeps it really motivating for me is the people on the airplane with me. It may be their first time, and you can actually see that in their faces. Nah, they're excited and they've been looking forward to that.
Mm-hmm.
So that keeps me up. That keeps me, going and like, okay, I have to make this a good, fun, memorable experience for them.
Wow. Yeah,
So
actually, fun din yun yung Bay Area. So,
it
ginawa
is, yeah,
yata natin, we went to Half Moon Bay, and then
yeah,
lahat nung, almost all ng mga airports sa gilid ng Bay Area, tinake off landing natin.
yeah, yeah. I remember, yeah.
Yeah, that
So
was a fun experience, man. Um, Ayan, nung ito touch and go kami at night, sa Hayward, no, we were at 800 feet. The pattern was at 800, right?
yeah, 600 actually.
Ah, yeah, 600. So,
600, yeah.
while you're on the downwind, may 737 sa taas namin, which is about
Pataas
2,000
mo,
feet
yeah.
above,
Yeah,
shooting an instrument approach to the other airport.
yeah.
So,
To Oakland Airport.
to Oakland. Yeah, yeah, really good, diba? Really good
Yeah.
experience yun. Um, so, other fun jobs that you had that boosted your confidence as a pilot and boosted your
Yeah.
flight
So
hours too.
yeah, that's it. Pretty much flight instructing, and then couple months later, or almost a year later, I got CFW, which is flight instructor instrument. Teach instrument students. Keep sharp on your instrument skills.
Mm-hmm.
It's really helpful, especially if you're airlines. Um, and then, of course, the pandemic happened,
Yeah.
2020. And I was given the class date for a regional airline out of the East Coast, early 2020. So unfortunately, March 16 or whatever the date happened, and they started canceling class dates. I was frustrated. I was sad, of course. I've been working hard for this dream of mine, and then I think that was September 2020. So before I get into that, I actually used to work FBO, fueling airplane.
Oh, wow.
And yeah, so, putting back airplanes or whatsoever. It's FBO, so you get all this, you meet all this rich people, corporate pilot. So you get to see the charter operations, because I got to see that because I was working as a line service guy. So even I got lavatory service, so I had to get all the. I had
Was that the
to.
blue juice?
Yep, the blue juice. Yeah, so never actually. It was always a good experience. I met a lot of people there. Met a lot of great guys in the corporate world. Exchange phone numbers with them, and so here comes September 2020. A guy called me like, "Hey, you want to right seat in a PC-12?" Okay, sure.
Wow.
I thought it was just for fun. I was just for experience, but I didn't know that they were actually paying me to.
It's a PC-12, right?
Pilatus, yeah. Pilatus
Yeah.
PC-12.
Close. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
So the guy he was a TP and he was a CFI, so he's like, well, hey, you can log this. You're actually not a needed crew member for when we have passengers, but on the Part 91 legs or the reposition legs, na walang passengers, we'll log it, and I'm gonna sign your logbook.
Wow, yeah. Wow,
And
libre
then,
PC-12 yun.
No, and then a few days later, sabi, hey, you have to contact this, you have to give her a resume and like tax documents, you're getting paid. Like, whoa, I'm getting paid for it. And of course lady was like, hey, if you keep on doing this, we'll put you in the list. You keep on right seating. And at some point I kept doing it. Every time they would call me, I would just yes. I never said no. So I did that quite a ton. I learned a lot about the 12. They made me take off and land it. I don't know why, but they trust to do it. I mean, it's at the end of the day, it's still airplane single engine land. It's not different from flying a 172.
Correct.
Simply, if it's complex and if it's hard to fly the plane, they won't even like give you the controls or anything like that. They actually did. So they trained me to do it. So I was just locking the Part 91 legs. I was in the process of moving to the seat end last year, but yung turnover ng early this year, it got slow. The business got slow. So okay, well, we're gonna push you back for your training for the left seat. Oh, it's fine. I mean, I still have a flight instructor gig at the moment, so I was not too worried about letting go of that. Not upgrading in the job. So I was, but it's just cool that, hanging out in the FBO or working FBO could lead you to meeting people. This one day where he calls and asks you if you want to write scene at PC-12.
Sana all.
Which is, it's really, that's why right now I ever, it was hard for me to turn down opportunity. Like, simple as a student walking the flight school, kahit gusto niya isang flight lang, I will still take that opportunity to fly with them. I've been like that. That's the mentality ever since. So, I think that brought me good places. So in the 12, we flew to everywhere pretty much. We went to LA, Phoenix,
Arizona,
New Mexico. The very cool one was Aspen, Colorado.
Oh, really? Wow.
So it's that 6 and 7 degrees nose down ILS where is that localizer to Aspen. So usually sa airlines, the airlines that go into Aspen, they undergo special training. And I'm sure Paul Escalante. I'm sure he's checked out because I've seen him flying there, and it's actually one of the challenging airports in the United States.
Yeah, actually, Aspen, Colorado is a high altitude airport, diba? Correct?
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
high altitude, and then you got a lot of terrain, and
Terrain.
then you got that unusual approach going in there, and Colorado, the snow and icing and all stuff. So
Wow.
it can get pretty gnarly out there.
Yeah. So next time I'll try to fly the same to Aspen, Colorado.
Yeah, yeah,
I think that would be very nice.
yeah.
I'm not
It's a
sure
good
if the 321
experience.
fits there, but let's see.
Yeah, it may be big.
It may be big. Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Yeah. So guys, I hope you were taking this down. Yung magaganda yung naging tips ni Chris, no? And si Jeffrey Torres, marami siyang kinoment. Hi Jeffrey, thank you so much for tuning in. Ganun daw din yung ginagawa nila sa States. Yung like what you've said. So nakakatipid siya. Do you
Oh
know
yeah.
Jeffrey Torres?
No, no, actually, no, haven't met him.
Oh, yeah. I think he's in the States eh, diba? Yeah, kasi ganun po
Okay.
ginagawa namin ng wingman ko, Cap. Oh, wow,
Yeah,
Jeffrey
yeah,
Torres.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Where are you studying, Jeffrey? Yan.
yeah. I'll search him. I'll keep
Yeah,
up with
hook
him.
up with Captain Chris. Napakadaling ayain lumipad niyan. No? So, kahit gabi na, tinetext namin yan ni JP eh. Sige, lipad tayo bukas. Aba, hanep, adik ka.
No, no, grabe. Yeah,
Diba? Um,
yeah.
ayun, yung PC-12, so you don't have to do the rating kasi it's a single engine land below 12,500, I assume, diba?
Yes, it's below 12,500 pounds. It's single engine, which if you have your commercial single engine with instrument rating, you're capable of flying that.
Wow.
Well, for insurance, it may need you to train with with flight safety or something like that.
Yeah.
It's actually simple. I've seen the curriculum and how they do it. They send you to flight safety for 3 days, and you actually fly
The
the
real
actual
PC-12.
yeah. So
Wow.
you do stall, steep turn, slow fly, and emergency procedures on the actual plane.
On the actual plane.
Yeah.
How heavy the yoke is when you flare it? I mean, is it
It's actually not
light?
that well. Yeah, I've flown the NG model,
Uh-huh.
yung parang glass cockpit siya.
Wow.
And then I've flown the older one too, which is 6-pack. The older one is it's really for some reason,
Uh-huh.
but I guess it's about the construction of the flight control system. It's just old school.
Mm-hmm.
And the new ones are actually really light. Not really light. They're still heavy, but for the size of the airplane, they're actually it's doable. You can maneuver easily.
Oh, wow. I mean, compared
Yeah,
to a
but
Cessna,
for the most
when you start flying it, diba, at slower speeds, it becomes heavier and heavier, diba? So,
yeah, it becomes heavier and heavier.
Yeah, so,
Just like your Cessna. And then the approach speed, it's almost the same.
wow.
If you've flown a high performance airplane with a turbocharger, it pretty much operates the same. You have to be careful in manipulating the throttle.
Correct,
Kasi,
yeah. So, minor correction
just how you
inputs.
do it. Yeah,
Yeah. So,
yeah.
wag mong lagariin yung throttle in short.
yeah, yeah. But 150 to 172, I mean, you're not supposed to do it, but yeah, sure. I mean, if you do it, okay, whatever.
Diba?
But yeah, sa mga high performance like Pilatus turboprop or high performance aircraft with turbochargers, you actually have to be gentle with the throttle.
Yeah. And you don't have to chop the power kasi low wing to, diba? So, dandahan ka.
Yeah, not really. Yeah.
So, have you
And
tried flying
it's
multi-engine turbines too? Like King Airs.
Not actually. I was looking forward to that.
Wow.
I just got my multi late last year, and I was actually I went apply everywhere to King Air jobs or even jet jobs, but and yeah, well, thankfully the airlines came to rescue.
Galing.
What if you? Because I'm a big. I really want to be in the airlines kind of a guy. And I like flying the turboprops, but I don't think I can do that for a long time.
Wow.
Yeah, but yeah.
Sarap
So I never flown
swerte,
a King
no?
Air or anything like that.
Yeah. Well, you know, it's the
Yeah,
same thing. But you go straight to the jet already. So that's really cool.
yeah,
Diba? Sana
yeah.
all.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, but I think yeah, the I've actually talked to a guy. I think yes, PC. No, not PC-12. King Airs
Mm-hmm.
and all those cool airplanes. They're really nice, capable machines.
Uh-huh.
Um, they're really. I was ready, but no, it didn't come my way. So I think I consider it not to be for me, not meant to be.
It's okay. I mean,
Yeah.
may pagkakaabalahan ka na naman eh. Maybe next time. I mean, bata
Next
pa,
time, yeah,
'di ba?
yeah,
There's still a lot of room to learn, you know. And hope.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So how do you think what's the fastest or how fast can one build this time in the US? I mean,
There's a lot of ways to build flight time here.
mhm.
The wise ka lang, and you're that guy in the airport who's you're nice to everyone. You
Yep,
make friends with everyone. You keep contact with everyone, and you're not burning any bridges
correct.
or anything
Yes.
like that.
Mhm.
You're actually gonna build a lot of flight time. Number one, safety pilot. Um, Number two, if even if it's a part-time gig where oh hey, ferry my plane for me or something like that, and he's gonna pay you, then maybe that's an opportunity for you to uh maybe he's gonna, because at that point maybe you're gonna be under his insurance. At that point you can actually fly his or her own plane, and you
Mhm.
know usually mga deal niyan is, hey, buy gas, you can fly my plane all you want or something like that, and that actually helps a lot in building the flight time. There's a lot of jobs to do it too. There's aerial survey,
Wow.
small charter operations, like I'm sure you've heard Mokulele Airlines.
Yep.
Back then, they
Yeah.
used to hire 250, 300 hour guys.
Wow.
Uh, and a lot more companies. You just have to do your research. United is big. There's opportunities in each corner. You just have to go out there and actually look for them.
That actually
Yeah,
tama. That's a good advice.
yeah.
Currently ngayon, during the pandemic, are there still plenty of jobs out there in the States for general aviation muna?
For GA, as soon as the pandemic hit, thing was just you're at home. No
Talaga?
jobs, no opportunities or anything like that. It was stagnant for a while. It was closed for a while.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and I was worried. Everyone was worried. Everyone was freaking out. But I know at some point it will bounce back. But interestingly, as the pandemic hit, I was still busy flight instructing. There were some days or a couple of weeks that I was like at home because we were all scared. But surprisingly, my students, which most of them they work tech jobs or anything like that, they took this opportunity actually to, since they work from home, they took this opportunity to finish uh,
Flying.
their licenses quick.
Correct, yeah.
So they took that big opportunity. They said, hey, we want to fly
Mm-hmm.
since we work from home, and I was like, okay, well, I'll do it for you. But of course, with all the I was careful with all the uh, guidelines we followed. That we had to wear masks, we had to clean the plane and whatnot. So um, it was, yeah. But like opportunity wise, yeah, it was stagnant for a while. We weren't even hiring flight instructors in the flight school. Most flight schools here didn't even allow dual flights. So everything was stopped for a while. But as soon as I think 2 to 3 months after that, everyone was normal again.
Mm-hmm.
Well, of course they still wore their mask, but they're trying to, like, I've talked to another flight school hiring flight instructors. They were saying, okay, we may need one or two flight instructors. So hiring came back, but just a little bit,
Mm-hmm.
not that much. So, but yeah, and from there it just kept on going. They just kept on coming.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
Swerte pa
but
din, di ba?
I
Actually,
yeah,
during the pandemic, it's the perfect time to learn kasi number one, walang traffic.
exactly,
Diba? I mean,
exactly.
may mga nakita ko sa YouTube nyo, yung some guys were doing the trio landing sa JFK.
Yeah,
Yung
one of my
tatlong airports, major
friends.
airports doon, di ba? I
Yeah,
mean,
LaGuardia, Newark, tsaka JFK.
di ba? Di ba? Kailan mo lang pwede gawin yun, di ba? If you're
I know.
slow 172 who wants to land on the
Yeah,
big runway. Di ba?
yeah.
On a busy day, nako, ewan ko lang kung di ka pagalitan doon.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah,
Di ba?
kick out ka dun. But yeah, I know friends who they did the ILS into San Francisco. Hindi sila
Wow!
nag-touch and go, I think, because I think they would have to pay if their landing gears will be intact with the runway. They have to pay the fee or whatever. But they did the ILS, they did this approach. But yeah, man, when can you do that? You can do that all the time.
Di
So
ba?
they've grabbed the opportunity. But the next few days, you know, the FAA or at least the air traffic controllers realized like, oh, a lot of people have been doing that. So they're like, nah, we're not gonna do that. So kahit hindi sila busy, it's more of like, no man, this is not a playground. It's still a Class Bravo airspace. You have to
Yeah.
respect it.
But the GA was open, di ba? Even during the
GA was
lockdowns.
open.
They
Yeah,
didn't ground flights actually. It's more of people
yeah,
getting concerned going out. Tama ba?
yeah. More people getting concerned. It's funny because there was just they were unclear of like what was essential and not essential.
Mm-hmm.
But apparently, what I learned was they flight training was part essential. Funny enough,
Wow.
but realistically, it's not. But by legal, we were actually essential for whatever reason.
Yeah, by legal. Kasi you need to transport stuff if you need it, di ba? Yeah,
Yes.
yeah, you're essential.
No, and not. Well, it's not just about the transporting of whatever, but it was more of like flight instructing. And the big question mark in my mind: why is flight instructing an essential business or an essential thing to do?
Yeah, flight
I'm
instructor.
not sure.
I don't know.
Yeah, it was like common
I thought
sense.
just
It's
flying
not.
as a commercial pilot, you know. I think that's
No,
that's
as
as a
yeah,
flight instructor, you're
it's
essential.
yeah. It was weird. It was weird.
Yung
It
galing,
was
ah.
weird. But you know, we didn't abuse that. I tried to lower down the frequency of flights. I tried to
Uh-huh.
fly with the same people, with just one or two guys. Um, but yeah, that's how it was in the pandemic. It was hard, but for a couple of months, you just
Uh-huh.
had to stay home and work on your study more, work on another rating maybe.
Yeah, wow.
Um,
So, um, dung time nung hard lockdowns, I guess, did you get calls for Medivac or palaran?
no, not really. I knew they were really busy and they were picking up. And actually, that was something I looked into if
Mm-hmm.
I can work for a medevac company or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
But they were so busy. They were, I don't know, maybe they were hiring
Higher time.
higher people with high
Yeah.
flight time. Um,
Wow. So
but
you're
yeah, never really thought of that.
wow. So now you said you're going to the regionals if I'm not mistaken, right?
Yeah, hopefully.
How is the hiring process naman ngayon dyan? Are they looking
um,
for more pilots?
they are actually. At first, I was a little scared and anxious to apply because who knows what can happen and who
Yeah.
knows what they're looking for. Maybe they're looking for guys who had more turbine time or
Yeah.
more multi-engine time or something like that.
Uh-huh.
But they've been actually hiring. They're hiring people. It's the same hiring they did from 2019. They're hiring 1,500 hour guys, minimum multi-engine hours, so 25.
Wow.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. So like with me with my class with this regional airline, there's 20 of us. Half are former airline pilots now. Yung airline nila is, I don't know, closed or they got furlough or something like that. And half of it is GA people or flight instructors or guys who did aerial survey or something like that. And I think they're doing that for the reason that if everyone is leaving, it's not going to be all at once. Because though the guys that were ahead of us, they have airline time, we're probably going to leave first. But at least nandyan pa kami. We're there to kind of like supplement if, you know, there's a quick movement. So we're going to be there for a while compared to those guys.
Wow. So since you're a petition, so green card holder, I guess, I assume, right? Is this flying jobs now that the airlines are opening? Is it also available to foreigners like the Filipinos, who doesn't still
Actually,
have a working visa?
I was just actually looking at a forum earlier before our session that this regional was, I don't know if, because forums, they can be liars sometimes, but
Yeah.
there was this guy who posted something like that, and I was like, oh yeah. And then who knows? Hopefully it does happen. It used to, I think, but I think it's just for Australians or something like that.
Oh, I think because I get the Australians can work there, diba? For
Yeah,
certain
something
period
like
of
that.
time. Yeah.
And I'm sure I haven't heard yet kung pwede yan. Kung
Mhm.
pwede if you could work here as a foreigner or something like that. But I'm sure at some point they're cry for pies, they're gonna do everything they can.
So,
It's just how
siguro
this
kung wala pa kayong
country
working
works.
visa, yung mga Filipinos out there, find an American citizen to marry. That's the fastest way, I
There we
guess.
go. Yeah. But for
I
an
guess that's the
American,
fastest way to do it, right?
Yeah. So that's one more tip that I can add there.
Yeah.
But no, but seriously, it's even if you're a foreigner, build as much flight time as you can.
Uh-huh.
And the reason is who knows? Who knows what could happen? Who knows if you're gonna meet someone here,
Yep.
or who knows one day, these regional airlines or these major airlines would say, hey, we're gonna issue foreign visas or working visas to foreigners. So
Wow.
get as much as you can. That flight time, wherever you go, I don't know how they do it in the Philippines, but if you get that flight time, if you go home with 500 hours, I mean, you have that 500 hours of experience anyway.
Uh-huh.
So it still counts. It still matters.
Yeah. Pero mahirap din yung maghahanap ka lang sorry, I'll just have to clarify it. Hindi pwede yung maghahanap ka, illegal yun 'di ba? Yung maghahanap ka lang ng
Oh
papakasalan
yeah,
mo na
yeah,
Amerikano na yung
yeah,
fixed marriage.
yeah.
That's illegal, guys.
So
Don't do that. Pero kung may opportunity ka to
don't do
marry
that.
someone you really love, you really I
Oh, why
guess,
not?
yeah, why
Yeah.
not, 'di ba? Pero yung gagawa ka lang ng
Yeah.
kalokohan
Set up.
I don't do that. Bawal yun, guys.
Yeah, don't do that. No.
No. Yeah, we don't encourage you to do that. Just to clarify.
Yeah.
Yeah. Ayun. So di ba ngayon a lot of corporate jobs no sa aviation. Maraming takot pa din lumipad with the airlines. Let's face it. That's the true, di ba? Is there a corporate flying gig surge now in the States? Like yung mga jets, no? Like yung mga corporate flyers, diba?
Nung pandemic, I haven't seen anything. I think they're also, there's a lot of pilots working in the corporate world as well. And they've been flying a lot. Because, that's what you said, what you mentioned, everyone's scared of flying, sharing the same space with other people in the airline. So I think they were busy, but it was not really a hiring surge. I knew just a number of corporate companies that were hiring, but their requirements were so high.
Wow.
They're actually really competitive. So if a guy like me who's just piston time, or someone like me who's just piston multi-engine, you're not really you're not the best applicant that they're gonna look at.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, they've been busy still. They've been going in and out of different airports. I think the rich people or the people who can afford to do it, they've been doing that ever since the pandemic started.
Oh.
And right now, I think they're actually, I'm not sure if they're hiring, but kasi ano yun sila eh, parang the way you get in there is not really, I'm gonna apply and hand you my resume. It's more of like, I know someone there that can help me. That's just how it works there.
Yeah, that's how it works, diba? So, ako honestly, akala ko especially the big corporations, they were scared, but they still need to get out. I really think na umangat I think there was an article about it na yung private flying was going
Yeah,
up. But I haven't seen the actual data. So that's why we're asking
yeah,
CP who's on the ground, to see what's the real status. Diba?
yeah,
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 so yeah.
yeah.
Um so now you're going to the regionals. Are you going to get your ADPL soon? Or you have
Yeah,
already your
yeah. So it's
ATPL?
I don't have it yet. So it's a
Uh-huh.
requirement for you to sit right seat or co-pilot or first officer in airline. You have to have your ATP
Uh-huh.
certificate.
Mm-hmm.
So yung check ride na gagawin mo is ATP certificate. At the same time, you're type rating for the aircraft you're flying. And all
Oh,
of those are shouldered by the airline. You don't pay for anything. They're gonna
really?
pay for that.
Wow.
Yeah, that's just how
So,
it
di
works
ba
here.
minimum hours is 1,500 to get the ADP, correct?
Yes, yes. So if you have your 1,500 hours, you're eligible for ATP.
Uh-huh.
Of course, you have to have your multi-engine 25, I believe.
Uh-huh.
Um, yeah, that's it. Once you have that, you're eligible for ATP. Your everything, your background check, your drug test, and all the stuff is good,
Yeah,
they're
you've been
gonna take
tested.
you. Yeah, they're gonna hire you.
Wow. So, swerte mo, libre na yung ATP mo. I heard it's expensive to
Yeah,
do it, di ba? On your own
yeah.
money.
On your own, it's yeah, it's expensive. But that's just how it was,
Yeah,
how it used to be, or how it's been like that.
yeah.
They pay for your type rating and they pay for ATP.
But can
It's
you do
not
it
you.
even without the airlines? Like, just for your own satisfaction, hey, I can
Yeah,
pass
you
ATP.
can. Yeah,
Diba? On a Cessna
yeah. I know
172.
people on assess. Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
Diba?
it's funny enough, but it's doable. I
Yeah.
know people who did their ATP on the Piper Seneca,
Uh-huh.
so it's still multi-engine. I mean, you're an ATP, but the only difference is your ATP don't have your type rating.
Wow. Wow.
So,
Galing,
uh,
'di ba?
and yeah, here in the United States, it's pretty much you don't have to like I know in the Philippines it's Cessna 152 you can only fly that and you have to do another check ride for 172.
Mhm.
Here in the United States you can fly any airplane single engine land.
Mhm.
So if you're a 172 guy and you want to go back to 152 you can do that without without any check ride from any inspector or any examiner.
Uh-huh.
Like what Vince mentioned earlier, our flight school has Diamond DA-40 aircraft.
Ooh.
So you can actually go from your 172 to the DA-40 without doing a exam with an examiner. But of course, it's always wise to do a checkout with a flight instructor. Get familiar with the airplane, and once you're familiar and you're comfortable, you could take it out.
Yeah. Yeah, you have to familiarize lang obviously with the airplane, like
Yeah,
works,
yeah,
yung systems, for
yeah,
the single engine land, diba? Other than that, everything is
yeah.
the same. A plane will always
Destination
be
Everything's
a,
the
ATIS is
same. Yeah,
125.8.
sorry, malapit na ako. So, sinasabi niya, 125.8. Yeah. So, yeah. So, yun, a plane will always be a plane. So, but, it's like what CP has said. It's wise to be checked out. Diba?
yeah, yeah. Most flight schools and their insurance will actually require for you to be
Checkouts.
checked out by an instructor. But yeah, kung FAA lang, they don't care.
Yeah.
They know that you can fly that thing.
Correct. Yeah, and wag kayong ma-offend if they ask for checkouts, diba? It's a way for them to
Yeah,
gauge your flying skill too.
yeah,
Diba?
yeah.
Yeah.
I
Like,
actually enjoy checkouts. I got checked out in a different flight school, and
yeah.
it's you get to people, you get to see how they want you to fly, or they recommend you things how to fly, and you get critiqued. I think it's really a
Correct.
good
Yeah.
thing to do. Yeah,
Diba? Plus, you get the chance to fly with another person and learn from him or
exactly.
her.
Yeah,
Diba? That's the
yeah,
best thing actually, to fly with a lot of people.
yeah,
Diba?
yeah,
You get all the good stuff you can get. You can squeeze out of
yeah,
that
yeah.
person, diba? So, yeah.
Yep.
Even
You get
sa Riot
picked.
Aero for newcomers, mga nagko-trial members, you check out din namin yun. Ang
Mhm.
policy namin is we don't care if you're the commander of a space shuttle.
Yeah,
You have to be checked out. Diba?
yeah. That's just how it's supposed to be. Yeah,
Yeah, so so wag kayo kasi some take it offensive.
yeah.
Especially sa Filipinos. I don't know
No,
why.
it's here
Yeah.
too, there's a lot of people who's like, okay, they fly a A380 or they fly a Gulfstream, and they go to you, hey, you're instructor, right? I'm like, yes, I'm an instructor. And they're like, yo, check me out. Let's just do 3 takeoffs and landings. Like, let's
Transition
go.
altitude near.
And
Sorry.
then you check them out. You check them out, and yeah, I fly this. I'm like, okay, let's do 3 takeoffs and landings. Like, man, their VFR radio is bad. And I'm like, really? You want to fly this plane? You can't. And you know how to fly the plane, obviously, but it's a lot. Just things that you can actually help them.
Uh-huh.
And it's just for their own safety as well.
Correct, yes.
So,
Diba?
may ibang guys na pushy. They're really pushy. They really want to get it as quick as possible. And you just have to explain. You just have to stop them there. Like, hey, man, like, your flying is good, but we have to work on this, and that. So I'm not saying we're gonna do 5 hours or 10 hours. We could just do, instead of doing the 0.5 hours that you wanted, we could just do an hour and a half. That wouldn't hurt.
Yeah, that won't hurt,
So,
diba? Plus,
yeah, that's just how I do things. Yeah.
yeah. Masaya kaya yun. You get to fly
Yeah.
with other people. Like the other, like yung interview ko this last Tuesday, John in Goldsby, a World War II Zero pilot.
Oh,
he
yeah.
flies,
Yeah,
he
exactly.
flies there sa States. If you want, I can hook you up with him if you want to try flying with him.
Yeah, it'd be great.
Actually, pinasamahan sa akin yun. Although na-check out na siya I think ni Kiel or ni Serge. Pinasamahan lang sa akin sandali. So, syempre, parang legal lang yun eh. Parang, sige, tignan mo nga ito, ganyan. Sige, tumama ako. So,
Yeah.
and then, I saw him fly better than me. So, I just moved my seat back. Hey, man, this is the best way I can release you for solo. You know? Hindi ako pwedeng bumaba, but
There we go.
the airplane is all yours. You
Yeah,
fly better
pretty
than
much.
me. Diba?
Yeah. That's just how I feel sometimes too. But I mean, it's not intimidating. I mean, it's good for the guy, and at least you did your part. You did your duty to actually help him
Yeah.
rent a plane or something like that.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Pinasamahan lang sa akin because ako lang nag-iisa sa field. Like what CP was saying, 'di ba? Sometimes yung nandun ka lang, tumambay ka lang, wala ka namang balak lumipad, bigla kang, sige, sama mo nga to sandali. Those are free flights, and I think that's legal, diba? Yun.
Yeah.
I didn't get paid. I had so much fun though.
Oh yeah. That's what's important.
Yeah, that's really what's important. Diba? So for the younger generation who wish to fly, do you think it is still a good time now to learn or to start learning how to fly?
Oh yeah, absolutely. It's a great time right now. Learn how to fly. A lot of people are still retiring, and as you know, the aviation industry I'm sure it will come back soon. Here it's starting already. In the Philippines, I've seen a couple of friends who's dumadami ng passenger count nila, and I think soon it will bounce back. I'm sure people would still love to travel soon, regardless if it's business or personal or leisure travel. They will still go out. You can't stay at home. It's just too much.
No, dude. Pag kinulong mo yung tao, magwawala yan.
Exactly. Yeah.
Diba?
So I think it's always good time to start. It's for me, in aviation, I think whatever your goals are, it just comes in waves. So you get the big wave. Like right now, I think the big wave starting, everyone's hiring again. So it just comes like that. So, sa mga maliliit, in between waves, that's where you do your training.
Correct. Yes.
That's where you gain your experience and, do your flight training. And then once your wave approaches, you just ride it. You just get hired and, there you go. You reach your goal.
Yeah.
So it's never ever a wrong time to with how the industry is going, and I think the demand in this industry will rise soon. Malayo pa tayo sa self-driving airplane.
Oh yeah, that's still a bit far. Although it's being developed. I mean, ako personally, I wouldn't ride one. Yung self-driving plane. Diba?
They're actually here. Yung startup na yun is here in the Bay Area.
Yeah, I know. Have you seen it? The actual The 208, they're
Yeah,
using the
it's a
208 caravan,
caravan.
right?
Yeah.
Have you seen the caravan that flies itself?
Yeah.
Oh,
Ano siya, may
wow.
nakalagay siya na experimental on the side. Kasi hindi na siya normal or utility aircraft. Ginawa siya experimental kasi, they're doing testing all the stuff.
Oh, man. So where are they testing it? In
They're
the desert?
installing.
They're testing it in
No,
the
it's
desert,
actually
no?
here here it's in Concord Airport. So, controlled area siya.
Wow. Paano kaya
So,
nagta-taxi
I
yun?
think how they do
Automated.
it is
Huh?
it's automated, but I think there's a qualified pilot behind the flight controls in case something happens.
He can
I think
disengage.
they can take over. Yeah, they disengage and take over and land the airplane safely.
Oh, okay. I think that makes sense. Akala ko totally autonomous.
Yeah, no.
That makes sense.
Yeah. I think recently they did taxi takeoff and landing. Like, whoa, this is actually
Wow.
pretty neat. But
Yeah.
all the pilots were like, oh, like, we don't want that.
Well, I guess it will be more implemented on the cargo first. It will be a long time before you put a living soul on board. Diba?
Yeah. Like, I actually ran into people who work. They're pilots too,
Uh-huh.
but there are actually people who work for a company which flies drones to drop off medical supplies to isolated areas here.
Wow.
So, pag nasa valley ka, you're gonna see. I've seen it once. I've been there once, and I'm like, what are these ropes right here? What are these open areas? And actually, it's actually a drone launch area.
Uh-huh.
And on that drone, there's medical supplies, and it gets delivered. I don't know how they do it. I never really witnessed it by my own eyes, but it's actually up and running right now.
Wow.
So,
Talaga?
which is a good start.
Yeah.
So they've been flying this. Actually, they're actually huge drones.
Talaga? Wow. Yeah, so
Yeah.
automation is there, but it will not yet be here soon. So, but
Yeah. I mean, it's at some point it will, but
it'll hopefully not in our lifetime
Oh.
yet.
Yeah.
Diba?
I still want to fly an A350
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
or a 787.
All right, guys. So, baka may question kayo kay Captain Chris Vallejo. Feel free to type it in the comments below.
Yeah.
So far, si Jeffrey Torres yung madaming comments. I've seen his comments so far.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for participating, Jeffrey Torres.
Yeah. Appreciate it.
So,
So,
kailan ka
I'll
pupunta
keep
dito?
in touch with him.
Yeah. Kailan ka pupunta dito?
Wala pa. I really want to go back home, pero it's just all the lockdown, all the quarantine. I don't want to deal with that. Just
Yeah. Oh, mahirap.
When everyone's
Actually,
vaccinated, hopefully everyone will. Kasi dito, at first, everyone was just like, oh, we don't want to get vaccinated. And I've seen people in the Philippines getting vaccinated already. So, get your vaccine. It's a way to help everyone and,
correct.
boost air travel
Actually, ako
and
takot magpa-vaccine.
vacations again. Yeah. So-
I know, kasi may nagsasabi, they have their own opinions, but
Yeah.
we're not medical people, so I just wanna see what's happening right now, sa akin.
First, yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah. So, yung mauna-una is the guinea pigs.
Guinea pigs. Yeah.
I don't wanna become a guinea pig, not yet.
Yeah.
Diba?
Well, kasi dyan, di ba, ano pa lang, it's just, they're just rolling it out.
Yeah,
And
they are
dito,
rolling
it's been
it.
happening since late last year, so nauna na yung guinea pigs.
Yeah, definitely. Ayun. So guys, we are nearing Flagstaff. I think malapit na kami sa Sedona. Yeah, we are near Sedona. And, yeah.
Okay.
Thank you so much for your time, Chris.
Of course, yeah. So I appreciate the invite, and I'm
Wow.
happy I get to share my stories to the viewers. And if you guys have any questions, just feel free to PM me. If you want to do flight training here in the United States, I can help you with that. I may not do it anymore since
Since
I'm
with
planning on moving
regional.
on, but
Yeah.
I could definitely give you some tips and advice this and how to do it.
Yeah. He's the most accommodating guy. Plus, sa amin nun, accessible siya kasi he's in Hayward. He's a train away from
Yeah,
us.
yeah.
Diba? So,
Yeah.
yeah. Obviously, mas mahal konti sa Bay Area to fly. But,
Yeah.
it's accessibility naman within the city. And my
And,
aunt and my uncle lives near. So, good.
So I think Vince is right. It's a little bit more expensive here
Yeah.
compared to if you go to Texas or something like that, or Florida. But here, it's the way I look at it. It's just a really
It's accessibility.
busy airspace.
Yeah.
Accessibility, and the busy airspace actually really trains you really good.
Yeah.
So
That's
if you go
advantage.
anywhere, you go anywhere in the United States or even out of the country, you can actually handle air traffic communications and collision avoidance and all those stuff. You can take workload or a higher
More
workload.
higher. Yeah.
Pretty much while flying. Yeah.
Yeah. I love flying there actually. Hindi naman kami na ano sa presyo kasi if you at the time we were near Hayward. So, if we go out to the other places, mas mura nga, but then again we still have to pay for food, for fuel, and
the
time.
good views are here.
Yeah. Edi diyan na lang, 'di ba? And then we get to enjoy pa.
Yeah. And then the good views are here.
Yeah, the good views are there. Correct.
Perfect
Yeah.
views.
Yeah, the Golden
So
Gate.
Golden Gate.
And it's really spectacular at night too, guys. So if you want to plan to fly with Chris or other guys in San Francisco area, do it day and night.
Day and night.
Oh yeah, day and night. So yeah. All right. Thank you so much again, Chris, and hope to see you soon.
Yeah. Yeah, hope to see you soon. I'll keep in touch with you, Vince.
Yeah.
Appreciate the invite.
Thank you so much. Our we are honored na pumayag ka to be interviewed. And Yan, guys. So guys, we are nearing our airport now. Wait, Chris, one more thing. I have this thing for all of my interviewees. I will say Cockpit Chatter, and then you will say exploring destinations one runway at a time.
Okay.
All right. When you're ready.
Very much familiar.
All right. When you're ready, sige. Cockpit Chatter.
Exploring destinations one runway at a time.
Yon. Thank you.
Patok.
Patok. Thank you so much, Chris. Thank you so much. All
Okay,
right.
So it's good catching up. I'll keep in touch with you, Vince. Thank you.
Thank you. I'll keep in touch too. Bye.
Alright.
Thank
Okay.
you.
Sige, Vince. Bye.
Yun, guys. That's Chris Vallejo. Is very accommodating guy. Thank you so much for giving us a chance to interview him. No? So I'll do a quick break here, and then we'll start our briefing approach. Hold on. Where's my OBS? And some few words from our sponsors. Technically, this is my parents' business. So guys, the portal overlay niya kagad yan. Well, especially in the States. So we'll do an ILS approach. When we do one, first we need to get the latest for roads, for Flagstaff. So what's the latest? 125.8. We need the latest. It's fine. Hold on. So stay tuned kayo naman guys. Other dog flying naman. Pilot and daughter, both of them are pilots. So tingnan natin kung paano ang buhay kapag ang tatay mo ay piloto din. 125.8. Tama ba? Yeah, looks good. Alright. 210 at 10. Tama? 210.9. So it's the wind shear. So sa alpha when I try to send, binigyan nila ako ng wind shear with Capt David. So that's C. Okay, so but sa C. So yes, with wind shear already will have to above the line and come around. So okay, so that's the briefing. So this is the last one. So this is specifically into FAA 1. But it's still the same approach course, just 214 runway. For airport elevation 7,014. Okay, missed approach, climb to 75, then climb left turn to 110,000. Heading 130. Okay, rock out on 172 radial ng Flagstaff tolls. So max tolls. And continue climb to 11,000. So if you notice, I didn't go below 60,000 kasi the area there medyo taas na. Papunta na ako from Flagstaff but not the airport. So landing minutes is low na. So overhead Flagstaff, medyo different na reading the approach plate ng so roads, there were 15 miles away. That time I don't know, hold 17, 35, sa revise na hold. Revise natin yung exit hold, hold, and then E, 35, 2, gonna hold. Okay, so tatrack na muna pabalik and then he'll do the hold there. So sorry, hindi ko binasa yung yeah, we should have had that. So localizer is 110.5 for the ILS and we can implement overhead. So the sector altitudes, so we're coming from the south, so it's 9,800. So if you see it's a really high terrain around. So overhead Flagstaff, just presyo sinabi dito. But the target altitude is 12,300 to final. And we'll track it outbound. Diba? We'll do a procedure then. So, meron pa dito nga, 10, then dito sa sama ko, 10.5. That's 5. Kasi 10.2 nga sa command. So, ano yung 12.3? Remain within 10 miles. So, I have to remain with, tama ba? Guys, please double check. Hindi ako kanina magbasa ng hindi Jeff. So, 3 miles. So, maintain 12.3. Do a procedure turn. And down to 10,200. So, we see the Matis Cross. Start descending. 7,000 yung runway. Okay. From 10 to. So, what's the minimums? Like, for the minimums, LS21, it's 5,258. So, we'll put the minimums at 7,258. That's what I'm. Okay, so alright, let's exit the hold and let's continue down to 12,000. 12,000. Let's start descending. Let's exit the hold. And yeah, it's tracking inbound now. Let's start descending. Flagstaff is ahead. Right, which is there. Hindi na siya nag-hold. Kaya hindi siya nag-hold. Pinatapos na tayo sa briefing. But sir, track. So, tracking and outbound 12,300 and then out 10,200. And patingnan natin yung ito. This, that. And wait, I'll turn off. Okay, so I'm gonna switch here. Okay, now we'll disengage the autopilot and the flight. Okay, we switch back to the approach. Here, LS, and sinasabi nila ng FTDP. Baka hindi mag-full capture. I'm setting 12,300 now. Kaya ako nag-autopilot. Gabby Brown, question to Captain Vallejo. What aircraft do you fly? Gabby Brown is, he's now in the region, sorry. Hindi ko na natin comment mo. But, start na sa Cessnas and then PC-12, which is Pilatus PC-12, high performance, engine for flight. Alright. We are on profile, I think. clear up that. About the chaos we're inbound to the setback. Okay, we are nearing sa map and we'll start the procedure. Check altitude. Start the procedure there. Okay. Procedure now. 12,300. Maintain 12,300 please. Dali na pag na-overlay yung plane, bakit sumuro tayo that we had earlier. So, hindi ko pinapalo ko yung port flight. So, we put that 45 seconds already. First slide. Laki ng land. Shallow turn lang natin. Message. Thank you for the answer. I send it. So, check. Check it out. Space. There you go. That's correcting. And in my course, it's what for ano natin at 5 and kailangan natin mag-alive yung local-live guys. Alright, almost there. Okay, 2 and 4, correcting already. And it's Toliss. Check. Lesson na natin all the way. So, ang altitude is 11,000. So, lahat hindi natin Thank you, Prof. That's good. Joystick na naman ginagawa ko hapon.
500.
Check. Continue. Stable.
500.
Final runway 21.
Fifty, 40, 30, 20, 10, 5,
Alright. So, welcome to Flagstaff. Breaking. Pero, yeah, tingnan natin Livery. I don't have the part. Yeah. Practice. Guys, that was good. Thank you so much. Cockpit Chatter.
Cockpit Chatter.
Cockpit Chatter?
Exploring destinations one runway at a time.
Yun, salamat, salamat.